Welcome to the Slade Ham Experiment. I'm your host, Slade Ham. This is my midnight spaceship. You're on board. If you would like to know more about the show, more about what goes on, there is a newsletter, a mailing list. It's down in the show notes. You should join it because sometimes you get free stuff. You would also know all about the shows I have coming up. This week, if you're paying attention in Texas, San Antonio on Tuesday, Wednesday in Houston, and the 22nd in Addison. That is in Dallas. I'm very excited about being at these shows. My good friend Trey Tutson is coming with me to some of them. Jerry Wayne Longmire will be on the show in Houston. You should go. He's got a new podcast. You should go listen. He is now at 10 episodes, which I told him makes him, I think, the third longest running Houston podcast in existence. It's a good listen. We're going to get to stuff today. Thanks for sticking around for the housekeeping part of the show. Man, this is a noisy world, and we know by now that I am anti-noise, that I am part of the introverted crowd. I belong on the side of the line where the music is turned down low. It's a political year, and 4 years ago I would have told you that things couldn't have gotten more chaotic in the world, that certainly this had to be peak asininity. Is that the noun form of asinine? Whatever. But boy, we've gotten there. And there's a lot of parties involved in the political machine, more so than just the two idiot parties that actually make up the machine, right? It's not just left and right, liberal and conservative, Republican, Democrat. Yeah, of course, those idiots are there. But what I realize is that, like in every system, it's permeated by people who have no business being there. They're the parasitic middlemen that we all live with in every industry that slowly make the cost of existence go up, that just make everything a little bit more costly because there's an extra hand in the pie. These people, lobbyists in this case, people who have somehow if you're a lobbyist and you're not watching this show because we're not the same people. We're not after the same things in life. We can't be. Lobbyists, anybody who speaks on behalf of people. I'm here on behalf of. You should all be pushed into lava. I'm just here to speak on behalf of. You should have sent that person should have come. We should all have to plead our own cases. And we should have to plead them directly to the people we're trying to get something from. Why does a lobbyist get to go to a government official and negotiate things that affect us downstream? Sometimes actually downstream if you live near a chemical plant or another refinery of some sort, or a factory where there's waste product. No one's having that conversation with the people on the river. They're going to talk to a congressman who represents the people on the river. Represents the people on the river. Not really. These people who stand up for us, our government officials having conversations with people who are speaking on behalf of companies who want to do bad things to us. And if there's just the right exchange of money, then somehow everybody gets to do it and everybody's happy except for the people who are being screwed in the process. Now, I know I'm not saying anything new here. This is not a new problem. This is societal all the way back to when the first two people probably met each other. As soon as there was a third person, one of them became the middleman, and the other two figured out they couldn't talk to each other. And that's how we work. We're terrible. But I want that to be you should have to do that. If you want to dump chemicals into the river, you should have to go talk to the people who have to live by the river. Right? You can't just you can't go to Governor Abbott in Texas and negotiate the deal. You got to bring the $100,000 down to the front door and knock on it. And when the lady answers and her kid's got the third arm hanging out of his head, and you're there with your $100K. I'm here to reimburse you for your child's tumorous growth. The arm's just doing weird third arm out of the head stuff. The kid's playing the violin and the piano at the same time. And the mom's like, yeah, we'll take the money because it's expensive to get this radioactive food he needs to live. But he's quite the musical visionary. It's always these middlemen. It's lawyers that take these big cases. I get these emails and letters in the mail all the time. We have a class action suit against somebody, and if you just take part in it, you too can have your $5.76 for Facebook selling your information to the Chinese, or for mesothelioma being in your cereal or whatever. There, you get your $2 back. The lawyers take 85%. And then we split the paltry rest over, and the company goes on dumping chemicals into the scope or whatever it is. I don't know. Scope looks like chemicals. That's mouthwash. Scope. It's all these lawyers. We got every city. We always act like they're ours and ours alone. Every city has its lawyer characters, the ones who have dressed up like Batman villains. They're all like Batman villains. And they cut those commercials where they're all, I'm on a truck. I'm standing on a truck, and I'll get your money. And they're just waving their dumb arms. They're always citing exam. We got her $200 million. And then they just show, thanks, Texas Hammer. I don't know where I'd be without you. Well, you're a bad actress. You would probably be in the same place. None of that's your money. The people who got the money didn't really get the money. You think they got $200 million? No. They should tell the truth in those. We got her $200 million. Her bills were $190 million. Our fees were $950,000. That's a lie. They were $19 million. We took all the money. They still owe, in fact, about $2 million. But we got them $200. And these people are just dead in their house. They don't have any health care or coverage. They're just still getting bills from what they owe from all these people. And the baby's got the arm in the head. I got him $50,000 because I'm on a truck. I'm the Texas Hammer. I hate these people. Can you tell I hate these people? I use the word hate too much. I had 2 moments this week of moderate inner peace that were unexpected. Once, I had a realization. I was talking about quitting in general, things that we're addicted to and how we let go of them, and how if we're not careful, we can give those things way too much power, right? Like I had lunch with a friend of mine the other day, and he and I are at the same level of quit drinking, as in we don't really drink. But neither one of us has quit. And that was kind of my point. I said, I want to reserve the right to drink when I want, right? If my friends are toasting something important, I want to be able to do that. If I'm sitting in a hot tub in Chile with a person I love, I want to have a glass of wine under the star. I want to be able to do that. You don't want to be like, I quit. And then in the back of your head, this one thing somehow can topple your whole existence. You can't live like that. And I'm sure I've made this case earlier. But the amount of power something gets when you say, I'm against that thing. That's why I see all these political movements and all my friends that are wrapped up in these things, and they're yelling at people on the internet, and these things mean things. Once you're against something, that thing has an immense amount of power over you. Like taking a stance against, that's why I'm careful about what I say I believe. I want to be on the hook for having to fight something for the rest of my life. It's nuts. That leads me to, that simple realization was refreshing, that you can pick up and discard things at will without them having to be permanent or have that much power. And then that led to a realization, because I was thinking about this person that I had. It's another comic that I had encountered a long time ago, and every time I see their name, it rankles me. I can't stand them. And there have been several interactions throughout the years. None of them have been positive. And then I started thinking, I was like, man, why does that upset you so much? And then it kind of hit home. Oh yeah, because he's basically exactly who you used to be in terms of just attitude and anger and presentation and a bunch of stuff. And I think it bugs me so much. I can't stand that kind of person because I used to be that kind of person. And that's where the peace came in, because I realized that in a conversation, I could say to him, hey, I've got to drop this because the reason I'm upset is because I used to be you. And I don't like that person. So that's why I can't be around you. That may be a terrible thing to say to another person, but the power in it is that I know he can't say that back to me. There's no part of them that's ever been to the places I've been or been the person that I've been. Only one of us has been that terrible version and changed. And that it was like the whole thing floated off me like a thing that floats off of things. I rely on myself to get to the metaphor, but right where the comma goes. While I'm putting a comma in the sentence, I believe that I'm going to complete the sentence. It's how I've been my whole life. It's how I say almost everything I say. It gets me through a lot of crowd work on stage, and occasionally I just muff it. Occasionally you just get like a thing that floats off things. I'm a writer. What else in this episode? I have a quote, and I'll save the quote because I don't know who wrote it. It might be me. But I want to take a small moment before we go any further. I should have started the show with this. I want to say to all Karens in the whole world, on behalf of all of us, I apologize. I've been making fun of y'all for a long time. I've got a clip from 2019.
Go over there with the kid. Look. Invisible dog. I don't feed him either. I give the dog food to the baby. Did you seriously groan again? Stop it, ma'am. Stop it, ma'am. I'm gonna call you ma'am every time you groan. That is some ma'am shit. That is some Karen talking to a manager shit. My name's Karen and I want to see a manager.
If you're a Karen, we did you so dirty for so many years, since about 2018. We have called you Karens and made fun of you for all of your tendencies, for your persnickety decisions to call the manager with such ease. And damn it, Karen, it's 2024 and we might have jumped the gun a little bit, because I don't think anyone's called the manager in about 6 or 7 years. Things have gotten, I dare say, a wee bit out of control. And we could all use a Karen, couldn't we? Don't we all feel a little bit like we're just in a restaurant that's gotten out of control? Why are we boiling like frogs, tolerating more and more every day? You know what? You don't have to. Someone should say something. We are in a restaurant right now that we expect a certain level of service. That's what life is. We don't expect a lot. Expectation, the root of many, many, many heartbreaks. But we should expect something, some basic decency from people, some consideration, some sense of privacy and space. Not much, but just a tad of autonomy should be yours should you choose to accept it. Yet we are in a world where every time you turn around, people are, well, you just gotta, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? I'll tell you what Karen would have done. Karen would have taken her ass up to that podium and had somebody over here, and half these problems would not be problems anymore. And yeah, Karen would still be a bitch. You know what I mean? We probably wouldn't like Karen a whole lot. But man, if the guy stopped peeing in her food and there wasn't hair everywhere, and people weren't just letting themselves into the kitchen and paying whatever they wanted to and charging me whatever they wanted to and spitting in my food right in front of me and then telling me I had to eat it no matter what, just, you know what I mean? Then maybe Karen, maybe I'd invite you out to dinner a little more often. You have been kicked out sooner than you should have been. We did not know We needed you. Because now, if you even think of calling a manager, you just got to put your head down and embarrass them. Oh, my God, what was I thinking? How dare I? How dare I, in this whole wide world, have any sense of self-respect? Karen. All right, what else? It's gonna be a short episode. I'm out on the road this week. I've got to sleep. I got things to do. I have a quote that I don't know who said it, but I read it. It's in my hand. It's in my notebook. It says, dig in and ask people what truly makes them happy, and they'll say a job well done, time with loved ones, creating art. And then you ask them why they don't do more of it, and they'll say they don't have the time. That's what I'm after. Time to do the things I want. It's all we really want, is to spend our days around the people we love, the people that make us happy, doing things that are important, things that have purpose, around people who feel and live and like the same things we do. It's coming, I think, for all of us. Maybe these tumultuous times are behind us. I doubt it. It's probably going to get worse before it gets better. But it is what you pay attention to, and that part we have all the control over, my friends. If you get a chance to come see me live this week and you're in Texas, I would love for you to do it. Some other shows will announce very soon. I am getting on the road. I am getting more active online. So if you're following me on any of the social platforms, I'll see you out there. Thanks for stopping by, jumping on board the Midnight Spaceship. I'll see you on another episode.